Okay, we started off quite aggressive last time, so let's bring the volume down slightly. Here are the upgrades, and as you can see, we had one upgrade and it was successful, which means we have a 100% success rate. Well, how fun, yeah, but let's move on now to performance index! Red Bull are slightly running away, I will admit, but at least the other three are trying to catch up. However, the midfield, that has got some proper zest. It's time to get fruity then, as we head over to Miami for the second time in Formula One's history. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, it is qualifying day, it is Saturday. Yeah, let's hope things don't turn too sour for this sexy vixen in the Ribena Racing machine. Let's see what we can blend together then as we go through the Miami circuit. Into Q1 we go, the end of the session, as we always do in these full qualifying sessions. It's a 35% race. I forgot to change the qualifying format. I'm not sorry. Through the first section then, throttle pedal to the metal. The aerodynamics complying brilliantly. There's a slow-moving car ahead of Lance Stroll, though, who's lackadaisical on the racing line. Doesn't move out of the way. We get caught up on the curb and onto the dirty side, and that was inevitable. Stroll not getting out of the way, impeding us as reality itself phases out, and there was only one outcome there. Stroll being a slimy salamander hasn't helped at all, and as we go across the line, we now only have one more chance to get out of qualifying one. And we've been in Q3 every single time this season, and our tyres are well past their expiry date now, so to even get out of Q1 would be a miracle in itself. So through the first... Yes, we did it. We got through Q1, convincingly might I add. Even with older tyres, it was P9 in the end, and Lance Stroll out in Q1, so that's some divine retribution if I've ever seen it. Some great news there in this qualifying session. Even oh, shit off. Fittipaldi floundering in the second Ribena Racing car is not ideal at all. Let's hope we can stay above the surface in Q2, pinching the apex perfectly that time. No one will be impeding us this time as they're all on the back straight through Sector 3. Car complying beautifully. The aerodynamics gluing us to the track like a gorilla, and through into this section here we get more understeer than we would have hoped for, slightly compensated to get slightly better top speed on the whole, letting the car drift out wide, but it pinches into that apex wonderfully as we head down the back straight and into the final hairpin of the circuit, currently P16 because we haven't set a time, but I'm sure we'll be well and truly ahead of the competition as we go with DRS open across the line, and I can confirm it is well and truly smashing P4? Sorry? Where's that come from? We're one of the only drivers to make the 126 barrier. Max Verstappen, though, setting the pace in that Red Bull. Once again, though, outpacing Sergio Perez. So that's very interesting stuff, and both Mercedes on merit this time. So we're in Baku, a bit of lady luck played into our hands there, which is disgusting, so let me never say that. Just like in Baku, let's see how much potential we can maximise in the final part of qualifying. DRS wide open, and let's go through a lap of the Miami circuit. Towards the first corner, the car pinching itself in beautifully. I had to turn out of the initial turn-in because it just nipped in towards the apex. It bit in immediately. Try and get on the throttle as early as possible, let the aerodynamics do all the work, and then flick the car in towards this left-hander. You can probably afford to turn in a little bit earlier there so the car complies through all three of these corners. Not too far out to the outside. If you go past that curb on the outside, it is Dust McGee. Luckily, letting the exit come to the car, and as we go down the straight, we are quite a way down Alonso. That's not that, we might be in trouble. Aha! I caught you out there, didn't I, lady and gentleman? You know why? Because this next part of the track is my golden hour, my lethal weapon. As we pinch the car into the left, hug the wall on the inside, into the right-hander, and then through this left, let it be consistent. One curb, two curb, bouncing over it like a bushy kangaroo. Into the third corner, slightly earlier turning than you would think, and it's the best second sector of qualifying. This is fantastic news. Suddenly, I'm feeling a little bit confident, a little bit cool, like a cucumber, as DRS is wide open, sucking up that supreme air. Brake as late as you dare. The braking for that hairpin can be a little bit tricky at the best of times. The rears want to lock up. Early on the power as you dare. Hug the inside. DRS open. Where are we finishing? In qualifying 3. Let's find out. P5! Oh, yes! Oh, that is pretty damn glorious if I do say so myself. Again in the 126s. Not a vast improvement over what we did last time. The track, of course, did ramp up a little bit, but that was all the time I could find in the end. To still be in the top 5 is a miraculous result. In the end, though, Verstappen injects himself with Right, so I want to know, where's he found 4 temps then? Oh, right, yeah, he's in a Red Bull. Why bother? Once again, though, we have thwarted both Mercedes and Fernando Alonso in qualifying. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic as we go into Sunday for the race. Let's hear from our paddock pass man. It's Will Evian.
Hello there, Will Evian here. I haven't much to say, but here's the news of the day. I find it extremely unlikely that Ribena Racing will actually win a race in my lifetime, and I can literally live forever. Therefore, if Karl actually wins the race today, which he won't, I will swig an undisclosed beverage before we go to the next race. That is all. Have a nice race, you pheasants. Wheel out.
F1 seems to be growing by the day in the USA, and today's race is a testament to that. It's time for the Miami Grand Prix. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, Grim Reaper, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Hulkenberg, Joe, Norris, Tsunoda, Stroll, Albon, De Vries, Fittipaldi and Logan Sargent. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? And we welcome to the commentary box Anthony Davidson. There's a new gearbox in that car, and they suffered a grid penalty as a result. You must have been in this spot before.
Well, at the end of the day, it's always better to take some pain now than parking it up halfway through the Grand Prix. Let's just hope they can put that new gearbox to good use and get the results they're looking for.
Here we are then, waiting on the grid to make our dreams come true. 5 red lights at the Miami Grand Prix. Go out, and it's time to get underway. Perez this time doesn't get a great start, and Leclerc once again to the outside we go, and we're immediately promoted 2 positions, running rings around our competition. We put their head in a spin, and we are up into the podium positions already, and suddenly it's the 2 ahead of us that were fighting meticulously in Baku, Sainz and Verstappen. But through this first section, getting a whole elbow full of understeer. That's not what we needed. Perez immediately on the back of us once again as Verstappen and Sainz escape into Narnia down the straight, using a lot of ERS to try and defend our position as we got hungry Red Bulls and a hippo of Charles Leclerc. But that's probably really rude. But you know what? Perez is in the slipstream. We've got to forget about that for a second, using all of our battery, defending to the inside. But in the end, Perez wasn't alongside us, but outbraking ourselves is not going to do us any favours as Sainz whips up some weird smoke. I'm not even going to ask what he's doing in his cockpit. But anyway, through these curbs, as you can see, we gained so much time. Multiple temps on Sainz up ahead. Now only 8 temps, under 8 temps separating us. Fantastic. But here we are looking at the start again then. As you can see, this is the replay. 5 red lights, out they went, and we just got immediate bite at the start. The clean side of the grid giving us the purchase we needed as Leclerc and Perez are left to fend for themselves. Sweeping round the pair of them we go like a beautiful broom. Fantastic little move. They're still fighting side by side briefly as we go through the first section of corners, and we can immediately try and set our sights on the 2 up ahead. And we just need to hope that these 2 battle as Sainz actually gets ahead. Very interesting there. So Sainz immediately promoting himself into P1 ahead of the current pole sitter, but Leclerc is all over the back of us, and that is not what we needed. And suddenly I'm feeling a little bit squirmish, a little bit nervous, because this is not what I want. I'm going wide, and what I need to hope is that Sainz and Verstappen start battling. I mean, could they just... Oh, yes, they can. Harry Krishna someone was listening as Max Verstappen tries to go for the move on Carlos Sainz round the outside of the hairpin. Momentum in Max's favour, maximum attack, but Carlos Sainz still side by side. These two leaving nothing on the table. Gotta be millimetric precision required to make sure there's no contact made into turn one. Still side by side between the Red Bull and the Ferrari, and still the battle ferociously rages on. It's like a never-ending fire out there as the competition really heats up. Sainz still not side by side with Max Verstappen. Into the left-hander they go, and surely Verstappen will have the move done finally. Yes, he does, but the time they've lost, look who's in the background. Here we are. Yes. I've got nothing to add. We're in DRS. We can't relax just yet, though, even though we might have DRS, and our flap will open up, making Leclerc very uneasy indeed, or I don't know what else, to be honest. It's up to him what he thinks, but means we have to defend from him still. Luckily, with the DRS, we do manage to get that opportunity as Sainz goes for another move as we defend on Leclerc. Sainz and Verstappen side by side at possibly the worst section they could have hoped for to be side by side. The Michael Rat section, as I'll call it. But Verstappen is thwarted by Sainz with a fantastic little move round the outside from the Ferrari driver, and Verstappen is firmly in our crosshairs, well within the firing range as we open up DRS very shortly. There it is, but their straight line speed is much more superior. Goodness me. Verstappen flies into the distance and tries to get back on Sainz's rear end. He's on his 6, and oh my god, we broke so late we almost tobogganed into the back of Max Verstappen. That is not part of the script at all. And as we transition onto lap number 4, they're still battling on. But here comes Leclerc to the outside. We might have DRS, but the straight line speed of the Monegasque has mauled us. But we dive down the inside using our confidence on the brakes, and we get back up into P3. The battle's raging on thick and fast here in Miami as Sainz once again looks to displace Verstappen and does so into the Mickey Mouse section, which looks nothing like Mickey Mouse, so that's why have you named it that? Formula 1 pundits' naming policies aside then, we are well within range of Verstappen's diffuser. Unfortunately, though, he didn't give us permission, and rightly rejects us and goes ahead by 4 tenths in a single straight, and goes for the move on Sainz once again to the inside of the hairpin. The battle's not done yet between the Dutchman and the Spaniard, and Verstappen makes a clean move down the inside. Easy as you like from the Red Bull man, really asserting the dominance of his car. Sainz, though, will have an opportunity. The DRS, the power switches, and he goes to the inside. The battle not done. The Spaniard sources one down the inside. He's really making Verstappen frisky. Stop it, gents. That is bad stuff. But look at his left view mirror. To the outside we go. And we could get Carlos Sainz, but no. No, we don't. We're wiser about it. We know that the DRS is going to be more powerful, and we knew that if we made the move on Sainz there, we would have not been in range of Max Verstappen. But we found the cheat code here. Look at how much momentum we have in the left-hander. We do need to sort out the exit, but keeping off that outside line is what's going to save us. Or probably not, because Leclerc's in DRS range, and now I want to cry. DRS wide open for the Monegasque man once again. We're much closer to Sainz this time, though, and deploying a bit of battery on the straight this time. We close off that avenue and shut that door firmly. And so, onto lap number 6 we go. Yet again, it's always this section that seems to come back to haunt us. The ghost of Miami's past is well and truly back to give us nightmares as DRS is open on Sainz. Leclerc's nowhere near us this time, though, and it's more like Perez is going to make a move on him. Much closer between the second Red Bull driver, the championship leader, as look how close we were to chopping off our nose on Sainz. We would have looked like Voldemort on a Sunday. Or just Voldemort on any day, to be honest with. Anyways, we're right on the back of Sainz. We are dipping in and out of his diffuser range. My God, we're almost pushing him through that section, sniffing a big opportunity. Unlike Voldemort. But we're going to have DRS here, and because we put Sainz under so much pressure, he doesn't have DRS. So this is surely the move done and dusted into the hairpin. It's already done. And Sainz had no answer to our straight line speed. Up into P2, and the chase is on for Max Verstappen. Into our favourite section. You can see for yourself how much time we gain every single time. But I have some very interesting team radio for you right now.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Oh, I say. Getting wet and wild, are we? Well then, another dimension has been added into this race. The weather is going to be a contributing factor in this Grand Prix as Leclerc behind gets past Sainz for the podium position. So the changing of the power there for the Ferraris. We're trying to chase down Verstappen, meanwhile. Half a second is roughly the gap. There we go on the TV feed. Leclerc up into P3, but not for long. Sainz is trying to retake that position, diving down the inside. The Ferrari man, the prancing horse, has put a bit of a gallop in his step, and now the two of them have to make sure they don't make contact. It's the unenviable sin in Formula 1. Otherwise, they'll have gammy legs and will have to be sedated. Grand National, I see you. Unlike most horse racing, though, we treat our aminals ethically, and Leclerc does manage to keep ahead of his teammate Carlos Sainz in lap number 8. Onto lap number 9, though, Sainz still in hot pursuit, but locks up massively on the front right into the first corner. That's not what he would have wanted. Leclerc has the chance to escaparoo then, and Sainz has to sit back and just wait for another opportunity. But Perez, look at the momentum he's got. The second Red Bull driver down the inside and gets it done. A superb bit of momentum. That was monumental, for lack of a better term. My goodness, now Sainz is under pressure from the Mercedes of George Russell. It goes from bad to worse for the Ferrari man. He must have some kind of problem, because look how far ahead Perez has got already, even though he just made that move into the left-hander. Sainz with DRS, but George has slipstream and DRS at his disposal, pulls to the inside, and the Mercedes man, who thought he had no chance, Sainz moves across again, not for the first time this season, making contact with another driver. Very, very naughty from the Ferrari man, but Russell easily gets past. And onto lap number 10, we have the first pitters of the day. Hamilton off the hard tyres, onto the mediums, both Mercedes starting on the hards. But look at this, everyone's in at the same time, and the disadvantage for Hamilton is that he has to wait for absolutely everyone, and it's cost him. Alonso re-enters the race ahead of the 7-time world champion. That's not what Mercedes had in their script at all. Meanwhile, our script just got a little bit better as we enter the fulcrum phase of the race. As those drivers came into pit, we are well within range of catching and passing Max Verstappen in this race. Both on the same set of tyres, both using every inch of the track, leaving no quarter, no stone unturned. I'm using all the aces in my card pile to make sure that I have DRS range, I have the power in my hand. The gap nearly 9/10 as we get out of the first sector. That's our weakest point by far. The car just not in the same league as Red Bull, but it's in the lower speed section into this section here that we're coming up to, using a bit of DRS to assist us and get past us. Verstappen uses his smoke screen. However, that will not deter us from trying to catch up to the Red Bull man. Catching up a tiny bit through that right-hander into the left, but using all the curb we dare, the confidence we have. Look at this, right on the diffuser of the Red Bull man. And he might have Oracle as his sponsor, but we are the Oracle of this Formula 1 race. And with DRS at our disposal and battery at our disposal, we are going to sweep past Verstappen, and we're going to take the lead of the Miami Grand Prix. It's an easy move, and into the end of lap number 10 as Perez overtakes Leclerc behind, we send the Red Bull plummeting down. Verstappen will have DRS onto this back straight. That is the threat we have. Our pit window opens on this lap, but it won't be enough. Verstappen has no response, and we have answered all his questions, and the question of who might win this race is falling in our court. P1 for Ribena Racing on merit, but the battle is not yet done. Verstappen will be monstrously quick through this first section. My teammate pits. I don't care, mate. Star Wars 8 finishes quicker than Enzo Fittipaldi finishes a Formula 1 race. And if you've watched Star Wars 8, you'll know how long that is. Oh, God, sorry. Oh, no. Verstappen's right within range. We actually kept the gap at bay a little bit, so that's kudos from us to actually keep somewhat of a gap in Sector 1. But Verstappen has DRS, has the power. We defend the inside, break the slipstream, and despite everything, we still remain alongside. Verstappen did not have the momentum he would have hoped for to keep potentially a bit of power in his hands. My teammate's in the pits again for some reason. Even though he's just come out of it, ignore. The FIA are clearly on acid, but through this section here, look at that. Over the curbs, the confidence we have, that is 1.2 seconds to Max Verstappen. Easy as you like, and just like that, at the end of the lap, we pit. Well, that was quick, wasn't it? Onto the soft tyres we go then, and Verstappen's gone on hards. What? No way has he just gone on hards. Surely the soft medium strategy would be faster, even though my tyre wear is not as good. I will have the fastest lap to my name. Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, courtesy of his newer mediums. So good stuff for Mercedes there as he's chasing down Fernando Alonso for supremacy. Leclerc just enters the race ahead of the Aston Martin man. The undercut was so powerful there. but my God, we've been thrown the biggest open goal in this race. Soft tyres versus Verstappen's hard tyres. There is surely...
Okay, we don't think we're far away from rain now. I'll keep you updated as conditions change.
Well, before I was rudely interrupted, that's what I was going to talk about also. There's the fact that the clouds of doom have descended on this Miami Grand Prix track. The rain is imminent, surely. As Sainz comes out of the pits, you would have seen it there. The rain has begun. Oh my goodness, it's arrived and it's slowly trickling down onto the circuit, making conditions more and more treacherous. Sainz must have some kind of problem, by the way. He's only just exited the pits ahead of Bottas, for God's sakes. And after the start of the race he had, you would have thought, oh no, Carlos Sainz, that's the problem he's had. His engine has absolutely exploded on lap number 13, almost reaching lap number 14 as the rain had begun. Carlos Sainz in the second Ferrari will be out of the Miami Grand Prix. His teammates somehow down to 6th as well. Things just went from bad to worse for the Scuderia, who had a spring in their step to begin with and have slumped to the lower leagues in this race. Terrible news for Carlos, as now my teammate Enzo is behind Nick De Vries. What? He's actually behind Nick De Vries. What the f? As the raindrops begin to fall down then, it didn't stop us. Let me tell you that much. The gap now 3.3 seconds to Max Verstappen, and as we cross the line, it is the fastest lap of the Grand Prix by 4/10 of a second. 1 minute 29.3. And let's be honest, we could cruise and win this race. We don't even have to worry about the intermediate tyres realistically. Let's be honest here. Although at this point, I was checking the weather all the damn time as we head now to lap number 15. As you can see, we're down into the 131s now. The track is definitely getting trickier and trickier to handle. The gap now to Verstappen, though, 3.9 seconds, almost 4 seconds between us and the hard tyre runners behind us. Wonderful news there, as Hamilton and Alonso look like they're about to do battle. So I'm sure we'll have to tune into that one very soon. So here we go then. Hamilton, the rain is coming down, but that's certainly not dampened his spirits at the end of lap number 16. DRS still open and enabled from the FIA, who need their guide dogs swapped clearly, because look at the rain. But Hamilton will use that to his advantage, and before the braking zone, the 7-time world champion is through into P4. Great news for Mercedes there, who felt like they would have been down and out at the beginning of this with Red Bull and Ferrari right ahead of them. Now they're feeling like they're maximising the potential of their car in this race, and that is exactly what they need to do as they try and catch up Red Bull in the development race over the course of this season. Meanwhile, we're having to tiptoe through the Michael Ratch section. You would have seen it for yourself. Our traction is waning all the time. Apparently Slick's still the quicker tyre, although we're surely not far away. As you can see, this is Hamilton ahead of Alonso, just tiptoeing through the Mickey Mouse section. Alonso, look, oh God, what was that? Alpine spun, yes it was. Ocon spins, and there's a massive roadblock, carbon fibre everywhere. And what on earth caused that spin? On board here, we go on with Esteban Ocon into the left-hander, and he decides in the rain, full throttle is a great idea. Obviously, it gets a solid 10 from the crowd for the pirouette, but that is not the right line to take through the left-hander. And as you can see, there's a pass without a front wing. It's this man we're riding on board with, as Kevin Magnussen, who was battling with Gasly, unfortunately relinquishes the final points paying position into the left-hander. The car's stopping ahead of him, and oh, it's so clumsy. So clumsy from the Danish man. He flakes like a Danish, beaches it on the curb. There's two cars line astern, and that can only mean one thing.
The Inters are ready for whenever you need them. Okay, the safety car is out. Safety car is out. We need to form up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
You are kidding me. This can't be happening. Right as the track turns into the prime condition for intermediates, we have got a safety car, and we are going to get a free pit stop, essentially, out of this, as Verstappen doesn't pit. Perez doesn't pit. What on earth is going on? Surely the cars behind us will come in. There's no way they can't. The Inters are going to be so much faster. No, they don't. Hamilton thinks track position is going to be important, as does the Aston Martin, the Ferrari, and the other Mercedes of George Russell. All of them thinking track position is a priority over pitting for the right compound of tyre. Look how wet the track is. It's looking like Swan Lake out there. And I can't believe this. There's no way that someone is looking down on us favourably this race, surely. We have been gifted in the best possible way. Safety car in, at the end of this lap. And look how wet it is. The rain's still coming down. Hardly anyone else has boxed. And look at the switchback. We get immediately on Russell. Look at the traction we have. We get an illegal overtake briefly there. But that is a catalogue, a demonstration of just how much more grip we have into turn 1. The yellow flag stayed out for an age, can I add. Luckily, at the prime moment, diving down the inside of George Russell. And I mean, it's not even going to be a contest. Let's be honest. It's going to be like a Premier League team versus National League. A brilliant switchback on Leclerc, fighting with the car, fighting for traction as we set our sights on Alonso.
Okay, the stewards have now disabled DRS. DRS is now disabled.
No, really, Mark? Are you blind? We send one down the inside of Alonso into that left-hander. That's just how much grip we've got in comparison to the slick tyres. This is why being on the right tyre at the right time makes all the difference in Formula 1. As look at the confidence we have against Hamilton, deploying our ERS. They're scared to deploy their battery. They don't want to have too much speed into the next few corners because they don't have the confidence as we get a nice Tokyo drift on. Hello there, sunshine. Very nicely sliding round the outside of Hamilton. He would have preferred a slide inside, I'm sure. But down the inside, we showed the nose on Perez. We could have waited, but it's just a catalogue, a demonstration once again of how much more grip and confidence we have. They might have confidence in the droplet. We have it in the oil tanker full, ladies and gentlemen, as with our sponsor, Equator Oil, who are proud sponsors of the Ribena Racing. We continue wading our way through the treacherous waters of Miami then. Verstappen, our final target between us and the race win. And really, it's going to be no contest. We switch it almost to the inside, and look at the traction we have. It's not even close. And into the lead of the Miami Grand Prix we go once again. And it's just going to be a processional lap. For this final lap of the race, the British flags being hoisted down in the grandstands there to show their seal of approval. To be honest, a seal would probably handle better than an F1 car in these conditions. But my goodness me, and we're just going for it here. We're just demonstrating what kind of a gap we can get against Verstappen through this first section, drifting out to the outside to ignore. Using all of the track and potentially a little bit more to go through that left-hander. Verstappen, as a result, catches up a tiny bit, but then we drop, like, well, about more than half a second, nearly a whole second on his head top on the traction zone, as I turn into Eminem, apparently, at the exit. But as we go through into my favourite section of the track, we can just soak this in. We can just soak this in. We can go as wide as we want. We could have a spin, re-overtake Verstappen, and still win this race. Of course, I'm not going to chance that because I'm smart. Through the Mickey Mouse section for the final time. It's clearly not a mouse, but we've done it. We have actually done it. We have one more corner to go, and providing reliability gremlins don't hinder our race any further, we are going to win our first race of the entire season, and I don't believe it. We never got close on F1 22. Last episode was our first podium, our first sprint race win. The gods of Formula 1 have looked down on us favourably, but when we asked for a blessing, they heard our calls, and we win the Miami Grand Prix. It's our first race win of the entire season at the 5th attempt. I don't believe it. I have turned into Mr. Squeaky, but I couldn't care any less. Unbelievable. Lando Norris, driver of the day. But we take all the plaudits. Our first win of the season.
And with that, we wrap up another incredible Grand Prix weekend. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Things you love to see. Oh my God, we've done it! We've won a race in F1 23, my team, at the 5th time of asking. I actually can't believe this. It took us a handful of attempts to get our first win. And if that's what we can do with that car, then I can't wait to see what the rest of the season holds. We still have a way to go, though. As a constructor, Red Bull have another double podium. And what a crazy set of affairs that Miami Grand Prix was. we take the full complement of points. 26 points are taken back to the factory in great land of England. Oh my god, we've won. We've actually won the Grand Prix. I genuinely cannot believe this. 5.7 seconds the gap in the end. Perez and co, Max Verstappen, I mean, get that extra podium positions for Red Bull. Well, extend their constructors' advantage even further. I hope you feel disappointed, because you're going to get more disappointed. Some other absolutely incredible results, can I just say. Norris from 16th came 8th. Right, the ends... I'm going to punch this Woodlouse so hard. Here we are for the look at the driver's standings in a nice calm fashion then. Sergio Perez keeps his lead at the driver's standings firmly in his control on 112 points, but Verstappen is hot on his heels. And apparently so are we. 76 points. You have to be kidding me. This is unbelievable stuff, honestly. Still a bunch of drivers that are yet to score points in this season. Magnussen got close, but of course the contact did not help his pursuit of points. Lando Norris re-overtakes his teammate to claim P9 in the standings. An incredible race from the McLaren driver. In the constructors' standings, Red Bull have 208 points. I am depressed. Deadlifting our own team to P4 though. We are not too far behind Ferrari and Mercedes, which is crazy to think. I mean, we've seen glimpses of how good they can be, but they are yet to show their true potential. You never know though. At Imola, things could be different. Yeah, Sainz had a stinker. I don't know how he got 6 in the rivalry when his Khalif 5 ticks, but he didn't want it. We are firmly smashing the Spaniard in the rivalry, things you, again, love to see. Our team acclaim is going to increase even more. We're driver acclaim level 6 at this point, can I just say. Unbelievable. Team acclaim level 9, and rightly so, because we are race winners in Formula 1. Equator Oil's goal smashed, and we head back to the factory with cash in hand. And I had a thought about this, and I thought, you know what? I need some more simultaneous upgrading. So fabrication in the aero department was chosen, and then we head our way over to the aero department itself to get a drag reduction upgrade, which will head its way on our car for the Spanish Grand Prix. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we are race winners in Formula 1 at the 5th time of asking. I've said that 3 times now, but the power of 3, you can never quite overstate how powerful it is. And we are heading from Miami next over to the Emilia-Romagna de Pizza de Pasta Grand Prix for Imola to once again shaft the ozone layer. We leave the Hard Rock Stadium though feeling pretty rock hard. If you did enjoy this episode, our first win of the season, leave a like and subscribe. You are more than welcome to do so. And until next time in my team, bye!